So, hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. Today I will actually teach you how to calculate in chess. And the reason why I'm doing this video is because I will actually release a new blog on my profile on Lichess. Of course, I suppose the link will be in the description. Anyway, let's just start calculating. Before we start, I will actually explain you something. I'm actually starting an online chess camp. If you really want to, to level up your chess, this first one will actually be based on the calculation, specifically. But if you want one on the openings, don't worry. One is coming very, very, very soon. We will just see how the first camp is, of course, doing. So it's really important for me to explain you that I won't show you the full game. If you want to see the full game, it's actually on my profile. It's a study about how to destroy the modern defense. But let's just start. So this is a game that I played in Luxembourg at the Team Chess Championship, and I'm playing against a guy who was 2300 in his life, and now he dropped a little bit, he's 1900. But it doesn't matter, because what matters the most is how to calculate in chess. So I already explained that in the blog. Of course, you can go check the blog before looking at this video. Basically, if you calculate, it's only to verify and make sure that your idea is working. Here, for example, my opponent played Queen f6, which is attacking the bishop, and of course he's threatening checkmate. My queen is defending the bishop, which means that if the queen on f6 takes my bishop, I can just take it back. But I saw that idea and I decided to go rook e1 check, king d8, and then c3. But what should I actually calculate when I see that position in my mind? I should actually keep calculating what is called forcing moves. So forcing moves are checks, captures, and threats in general. Here, for example, there is a very strong forcing move for black, which is, you can pause and try to find the answer, which is actually bishop takes d5. And the reason why this move is pretty strong is because if I take on d5, my queen is no longer defending the bishop, so he can potentially take on f4 with check, and it feels like I lost a pawn. But then the calculation doesn't end here. I have to keep playing. I have only one move, which is moving the king. Now I can go wherever I want, but I decided to go on b1, which is actually putting my king in, in security. If I go to d1, the king is a little bit too exposed in the center. So king b1. And now what I should actually be looking at is my queen, which is attacking the rook on a8, and that the queen doesn't have any more checks. So I figured out that I do have enough of compensations for the pawn. It's actually +3. Why? Because I will put my queen on c6, put my bishop on h3, and some checkmate threats will actually appear on the board. So that is why he decided not to play bishop d5, but he decided to go for queen f5. Now, calculation forces me to actually go for aggressive moves. First, how do I find a move? I have to look at the position, and then based on my experience and my strategical understandings, this is yet another theme, but based on that, I can find the first move. Here, for example, I would like to bring my bishop into the game, and that is how I see the move bishop h3. So bishop h3 brings the bishop into the game, but also it's attacking the queen. But which move do I have to calculate? I have queen takes h5 to calculate and queen takes d5 to calculate. Why these two moves? Because both of them are actually captures. If I find out that both of these moves are actually pretty bad, I will start calculating something slower, like, I don't know, queen f6 or queen h7. But first, I have to calculate both of these moves. So the first move that I calculated was queen takes d5. Of course, I can start calculating queen takes h5, but I figured out that I can go for the same variation which happened in the game. So let me just introduce you to what happened in the game. Queen takes d5. So now he's winning a pawn. He's also threatening to trade the queens off and eventually threatening to take on f3. Now, if I calculate, I can see that queen takes d5 and bishop takes gives me a pretty actually lost position. I mean, he's attacking my pawn, he's up a pawn, I'm not threatening anything anymore, and okay, this is just not good. And the engine says black is winning. Now, what I saw is actually that I can have some potential attacks on the e file and on the light squares, especially because I have this bishop on h3. So I found the move queen e3. And queen e3, you already see the small point on e7 is threatening checkmate on e7. What do we mean checkmate? So if he takes on f3, I have the move queen e7 check, and since the king can't go anywhere and he cannot take my queen because of the rook, it's actually a checkmate. So I have to find a way now in my mind for black to stop the checkmate threat. So I calculated bishop e5. Then I briefly look at rook e8, but I saw that I can just take the rook and it's checkmate. So at my level, you're no longer looking at rook e8 itself because you just see that it's hanging a rook. But it's important, if you don't have this level yet, to really go through all the moves, especially during your training games, because during your training games, you don't have the pressure of the rating, so you can be way less, how is it called again? Less, how should I call it yet? Um, Basically, you have the time to go through absolutely everything. Now, and especially if you're not at the level yet, take your time to really calculate everything. But I will discuss that in my masterclass and my training camp. So more infos will be actually released at the end of this video when I will be showing you this subject. And then in the end, of course, all the infos about the training camp. Now, I saw that bishop f6 is basically, stopping the checkmate threat on e7. But now, what should I calculate? I ended up playing the move rook d1, which is the second best move, but there is a very brutal move here that I have to calculate. Doesn't matter what else. It's, of course, a take. I have to take on h6, and probably some other takes, and we will discuss that in a second. So what is the idea of bishop h6? The idea is very simple. If he takes on h6 with the idea that if queen h6, bishop g5 fork, I have to go for forcing move verification, and again, forcing moves are checks, captures, and threats. The rook is no longer defending e8, so queen e8 is checkmate. Then I started to think about that, and I realized, but wait, I can take something else. You can pause and try to find the answer. Okay, the second take that I looked up very closely was bishop takes d6. And what happens after bishop takes d6? So if pawn takes d6, I have queen b6, check, mate, which is winning the game. So which move should I actually look at? I have to look at all the captures. So I see queen takes d6. But what should I look for? Again, threats. I see the move rook d1. I am threatening the queen, and the queen is pinned, so the queen can't go anywhere else. If the queen takes on d1, I just take back with the rook, it's check, and I will win the game probably in 10 moves. Or 5, depending on how long he will actually take before resigning. So what should I look for black? I should actually be looking for a move which is fighting against this threat. For example, bishop d5, no more pins. Again, the same methodology. What should I do? Look for captures and forcing moves. Boom, rook takes d5. He has to take back. So he takes back, and now rook d1, again, another tactical pattern. That is crazy. Each move is actually a tactical pattern. Okay, now a question. Which other move... by the way, this is just winning the game. Yeah, he has to take, I take back, and it's all right. But which other move should I be looking at instead of the captures? Now I have my main line. Now I should actually deviate in my calculation in order to be, finding some other moves. I see that I have the move bishop g5 to look at, which is counterpinning my pieces. And here I found a very, very funny move, which is bishop e7 check. How did I find this move? Again, it's a forcing move, and then I have to calculate what happens if the king moves, and what if he takes the bishop. So if he takes the bishop, queen takes is checkmate. And if the king moves out of the check, I have bishop takes g5, discover check, king here, and now I can, of course, keep calculating bishop h6, king g8, rook g1, but, between you and me, I saw that it's checkmate, and I didn't, I stopped here my calculation because I was like, okay, I'm up a piece, it's check, it should be winning, which is true. He doesn't have any good ways of, blocking all the checks, and I didn't have to go that far. I just realized that this is a very simple checkmate threat. So let's go back. He has basically no other moves, and notice the calculation for me, and especially for people that know how to calculate, isn't really difficult. The truth is, people do not tell you exactly how to calculate. They just show you variations and they tell you, yeah, you should be calculating that and that and that and that. I know only a very few amount of books which are great when it comes to calculation. Many books will actually teach you with concrete example how to analyze and calculate in each type of positions. But the truth is, each calculation moment is only a succession of tactical patterns that you should be looking at. Sometimes these are very basics, basic stuff, like, for example, captures in one move, captures in two moves, and sometimes it's actually tougher than that. Sometimes it's actually forks or skewers, or real, I don't want to say advanced, but like intermediate level of tactical patterns. For example, the spin in that position. And of course, I still have to know what's happening after bishop g5. In that case, I saw that f4 is fighting against the pin. If bishop takes, I have queen takes, and the queen cannot take on f4 because the queen is pinned. So notice that, once again, calculating is not difficult once you understand that it's only a matter of tactical patterns. And that is why grandmasters, especially very strong grandmasters and coaches, will tell to you that tactics is around 99% of the game. Not 99%, but each time you will have to calculate, it's only a matter of patterns. And since you basically have to calculate the whole time in order to make sure that your move that you found strategically is playable, you can basically say that tactic is absolutely everything in this game. Now, what about the online chess camp? So the online chess camp will be held actually on the next week on Sunday. So if you're looking for a good way to improve at chess, you can send me, of course, a message per mail. Everything is on the screen. I said next week. I meant, Sunday, 1st December 2024. If you're looking at this, at this video way after the chess camp, it's not a problem. If you're looking at it before, then you still have time to register. There will be actually 10 places. So if you really want to take part, it's all right. For this first one, the price will be a little bit lowered. It's only 10 euro if you want to, to get in. And of course, if you want to register in the last second, the price will remain the same. It's just a test. I don't know yet if people would actually like this chess camp. I'm not even sure people will actually register. But, my goal as a chess trainer is to help you becoming good at chess. And I'm pretty sure that for you, playing in a chess tournament, and playing in chess tournament costs money for the hotel, sometimes for the visa. You still have to pay the registration. I'm pretty sure that if you take part in this chess, in this chess class, chess camp, you will be so much stronger than actually you will be winning more chess tournaments. You will actually have to pay less money for your chess tournaments. So take your time, take your decision, and hopefully see you in my chess camp. lorischesstrainer for you. If you have any more questions, just let me know in the comment section. Subscribe to this channel. Thank you very much. We are almost 800 subscribers on this channel. So thank you very much. See you in the future. Take care.